This is Ruby. We're having a little standing tide lesson. She is a BLM burro. She was tip trained. So right now she wants to get back to her buddies. She's not super happy about standing tide. I have a nylon halter on her that will not break. And I have her tied in a quick release knot up high. You don't want them tied low because they can injure themselves. So this is pretty typical. They usually will pull back, skitter around a little bit, sometimes start kicking. So you always want to make sure you're clear. And then the instant she stands without pulling on that rope, as soon as there's slack on that rope and she's standing nicely, then I'm going to say yes, and come in and give her a treat. Doesn't matter if she moves after I say that yes marked the right behavior. Good. Because with these guys, I want them to know what I want for them, not just what I don't want. So I want them to know that when they're standing on a loose, relaxed rope, yes, then they get a reward. Good girl. And she's not happy, but she's taking treats. And at first, I'll just tie them for a couple minutes. It's not a long time thing, just a few minutes, just to get them kind of realizing that they can't get away from pressure. And this helps too, because when you, good girl. When you start walking them, if they bolt and hit the end of that rope, they feel that tension. They're like, oh, I can't get away from that. And then they come right back to you, as opposed to pulling and bolting free. So this is one of the basic foundational behaviors I teach early in training. But unlike just tying them there and leaving them, I do like to reward them when they're doing the right thing, so they know exactly what I'm looking for. And she's gonna paw. You saw the video of Skillet the other day kicking. All normal stuff. You just want them in a safe area where they can't get hurt on anything. And you just let them have a little tantrum for a bit. And then as soon as they give up that behavior, you say yes and reward, and then you untie them when they are behaving, standing nicely, because the untying is your biggest reward. So if you wait, if you untie them when they're pulling and being a jerk, then they learned, hey, that got me out of this. So you want to wait for them to give in. Even if it's just a split second, you say your yes and release, and that release is your reward. And this is just, she's not sure. She's not happy about it. She's used to doing kind of what she wants to do. So she's going to do some stupid stuff. And I just keep a close eye. If she does anything really dangerous, then I will untie them. I've only had one donkey, and that was Lucy, that I thought would rear and flip herself over. Everyone else, this is usually the extent of it. And she's doing the little bolty forward thing, but this is important. She needs to learn that she can't get away from that pressure. And that's going to make her a more respectful, easier to work with donkey in the long run. And she doesn't have to stand rock solid. She just has to not be putting pressure on that rope. And so she's mad. That's a little frustration snort. The tail's going. That shows you agitation and frustration as well. She's got the tight mouth, nostril kind of pulled back. So this is just the epitome of an unhappy donkey right now. Which is fine. You can't always be happy in life. You got to learn how to cope with it. Yes. So the instant she stopped moving those feet and put slack on that rope, I say yes, and I'm going to cover and treat her. Good girl. And I'll say good girl and give her a couple pets. Good. You don't want it to be a completely miserable experience for them. You just want them to behave appropriately. Good. And these guys are smart. They usually figure it out that, hey, I can't get away from this. Good. That's why it's really important for these guys not to have a halter that will break. Because if you use a breakaway halter and they learn that, hey, if I pull, it's going to be really hard to unlearn that. And like I said, most of these guys are usually smart enough and have enough self-preservation that even if they get themselves into a pickle, they're going to wait for you to get them unstuck. They're not going to keep panicking and kill themselves. Yes. So as soon as she stops those feet, easy, okay, and puts a little bit of slack on the rope, I said yes, and give her a treat.